Greetings everyone, it is I, Izayoi. Today's video topic is going to cover unused content within Sleeping with Sakuya Izayoi. Now, there's not a whole lot of unused content, mostly just a few messages that were commented out of the code for various reasons, but I thought it would make for an interesting short video nonetheless. Without any further delay, let's get into some cut content. So, the first unused piece we'll be looking at today is one that has a reason conveniently given to us for why it was cut. Thanks, Sakuya. There was originally going to be a conversation where Sakuya would describe that she's not very religious. However, she would respect the player's beliefs if they themselves were religious. As stated in the code comment, it was removed because despite it being accurate to the lore of Toho, Sakuya felt like it didn't fit within the theme of the game. This second piece of unused dialogue does not go entirely unused, it is only the first sentence that was changed. The original first sentence was supposed to say, "If you ever think about hurting yourself," but it was changed to, "If you're ever in a dark place." It was most likely changed to a more general dark thoughts message due to the fact that the original sentence might have been a little bit too dark or would have made players feel uncomfortable. Now, moving on to the third piece of cut content, it seems as though, originally, the player would have been prompted to type in what oxygen is, or to click on the dialogue option to explain the concept of oxygen to Sakuya. This most likely was removed as no other dialogue in the game has dialogue options that the player can choose, except for when initiating actions in the game, such as changing the music or kissing Sakuya. Also, while this technically isn't unused content, when Sakuya speaks this dialogue option in-game, she changes her expression to the same face every time, as opposed to picking a random expression like the majority of other dialogue do. You can see this with the $change_BG brackets scenery, 1 function. This calls the same static image, as opposed to the call random_expression from _call random_expression_number function, which picks a random expression image from a set list in the code. The next slice of cut content is a big one. At the end of the internal dialogue list are two entirely commented out messages that are references to code and math. The first one reads as so. Computer-generated random numbers are fun, but they are not truly random. If you notice, the randomness here isn't truly is random. When you come back again, you may see the same dialogue, the same kind of face. Hahaha, it's just food for thought. The second one reads like so. I have been thinking. The distance between 0 and 1 is limitless. There could be fractions like 0.5, 0.2. Inside those fractions, there are even more fractions, so we lost count on how many we have picked. But all those are inside 0 and 1. It could be the vast, even for such a small number. Even if you think you are small, remember that even a small number can have such a big significance. And that's why you're special to me. With how these messages are written out, they most likely served as debug messages during development when Sakuya was writing the dialogue for Sleeping with Sakuya Izayoi. The reasons why I believe this is due to how the two messages trigger. The first one is triggered if the random_number variable is 50. However, there's already another dialogue option in the game that is triggered when the variable is 50. As for the second message, it is triggered in an else situation. However, due to the fact that the random number variable can only be between an integer of 1 and 50, and as all 50 numbers have their own dialogue options, this else situation is impossible to occur as the code is now. I wouldn't mind seeing these dialogue options be enabled in the game, but as they stand, I don't really believe they would fit within the theme of the game. Now, the next three dialogues are all located within the same space in the code, relating to changing the background in some sort of way. The first background, the Scarlet Devil Mansion, which is a default background that's loaded when you first start the game, used to have the dialogue of, "Do you like the red bed? Rosy smell here?" The second background, the Forest of Magic, originally had the dialogue of, "This smell of nature, this is where the mosquito bunnies reside," with mosquitoes being crossed out. Interestingly, the dialogue is one of the only dialogues in the game to use a text modifier, which may contribute to the reason why it went unused. Another interesting thing to note is that it lists bunnies residing in the Forest of Magic, which is improper as it's mostly magicians and fairies who reside within the Forest of Magic. At an earlier point in time, this background may have been for the Bamboo Forest of the Lost instead of the Forest of Magic. The final background, an illusion of the player character's room, had an extra dialogue piece of "Your bed, the most comfortable thing in the world, am I right?" This piece of dialogue was most likely changed to reduce similarities between the used dialogues of background changes. Now, onto kissing. This piece of dialogue here reads, gasp, don't tell me you're in heat. Just joking, let's kiss. It was supposed to occur when you wanted to kiss Sakuya. It most likely was removed due to the dialogue being a little bit too sexual for the content of the game. It was changed to just be the singular line of, give me a kiss. The final piece of unused content I'd like to look at today is a very interesting one. Apparently, at some point during the game's development, the game was designed to have some sort of ending. After Sakuya would say, what is oxygen? The game, as stated in the code comment here, would end. Now, the phrase, what is oxygen, is indeed used in the game, as we looked at earlier. However, it is just one of many random conversations that you can have by talking with Sakuya, and does not play any significance within the game itself, nor does it end the game. That concludes everything I wanted to look over with this video. While this video was short, I do hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. There could potentially be more cut content from this game, as this video does not cover the recently released ASMR DLC, nor have I looked into the code of the ASMR DLC. However, I brought up the pieces that were more interesting to me. If this video does well and folks are interested in it, I'll make more videos on the unused content of other Sakuya visual novels, as well as the ASMR DLC, if there's any unused content at all. As always, thank you everyone so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, a like, comment, or a subscription would mean a lot to me. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and goodbye for now.